Hello, and welcome back to Thief 3. Thieves Rising 2. This little lady right here goes by the name Pollenfall. Can just go off, broken boss! To be fair, it wasn't as bad as the other one. It was just like a broken script. The idea is a lot better than the were-rat was, but yeah. So now we have the artifact, and we can go cleanse the city of this curse. Or I could just move on and sell the artifact. There's that. That's a possibility. It is whole, so it's not going to be a curse for me. Right? I don't need that. I have full fire arrows, and hopefully I won't need them. Hopefully... Thank you. Okay, they're both still dead. Supposedly... Oh my god. Supposedly they have regenerative properties. But I haven't seen one get up yet. But then again, I don't really go back to see if they're still dead. But yeah. Did I leave somebody alive over here? I may have. You'll have to be careful. Unless Pollenfall dying made the mob beasts disappear, but I don't see why they would. They're supposed to be natural. Yeah, they're natural creatures here. Natural creatures. Come on, little drippy lady. Let's go. Leave us an earth elemental here. For old time's sake. Alright. So what, I just go back home? Or did something unlock in our house? Because I still have the 2 rooms in the library. Good old library. Yep. Or 2 doors, not necessarily rooms. These 2. Yeah, I don't have... just a second. Before I leave, I want to check some things out. Oh! The step was hiding a key, a treehouse cupboard key. Well, let's go back home, shall we? Alright. Back home. Well, Pollenfall's home, not my home. Cupboard keys. Are these cupboards? These are cupboards! Access code to my secret chambers, 712496. Huh. Those book titles have any numbers or... I don't know what this does. Thing that sucks is I can't read it because it'll just crash the game. What was it again? It was 712496. I'm assuming this resets everything. Wait. QUASIX. That's why X. Okay. Oh no, X is capitalized because it's whatever. So that's 6, 7 miss events. Yeah, I'm lucky I read that one first because with the X being highlighted like that, it definitely made me draw my eye towards it. 1. There's a 1 here. 3. There's 3 there. This is actually pretty easy. 9. That's 9. 5. That's obviously 5. I don't know what this one is. Is it possible one of... No, I didn't mean to pull it out. Where? That's 5. What was that again? Come on. I have no idea what that one is. Fuck. Don't know what that one is. Don't know what that one is. So... Alright, let's go through this again. Oh, this is... So this is 6. Is there another one over here? I'll make sure. This one is 7, yeah. Ah, there's one. This one is 1. Three. Nine, puniness. There we go. Then 5, obviously. Trustworthiness of pagans. 2, trustworthiness. 0! Oh, I don't normally think of 0 as a number, but yeah, there you go. Obviously, it is. 4! Gotcha. Oh, what did I just say? Counterweighted nature. Counterweighted nature. Counterweighted 8! 8. So, what we need is 712496. Okay, let me write. 1 second, I'm gonna write everything down. Alright, so the ones I need is non-happenstance missed events. Oh, so that one. Erroneous validations. Trustworthiness of pagans. They're not. Trustworthiness of pagans. Foolproof ourself. Where was that? Foolproof ourselves. The puniness of man-fools. No. Puniness of man-fools. And quasi-geosynthetics, whatever. This one. Ah! Secret room. That was actually really clever, having the numbers in the... Here's her actual throne. Dear God. Having the numbers in the actual titles like that. Born of a child of the maw, the wretched offspring of my pagan mother. Flora Bront, and the trickster father. Oh, she's the daughter of the trickster. Constantine. Wasn't it Constantine? I don't remember. I don't know if that's right or not. A twisted being with a mind torn between demonic rage and the folly of man-fools. In semblance of pagan manifestation, bound to the energies of the maw, trapped like a caged beast longing to be free. After my father was killed by the sneaksy one Garrett, I was left with the parenting of the craven wench from which I had been birthed. This weak-minded, hapless being was no mother to what raged within me, no contention for the control of my inner anguish, and thus, when I turned of age, I crushed the mortal life out of her insignificant form with my bare hands. Now, parentless and undisciplined, I wandered the maw seeking departure from its savage embrace, craving an escape to where the man-fools sauntered in peaceful ignorance of the otherworldliness that exists beneath their very feet. But it wasn't to be found with ease, and the longer I searched, the more distressed and anguished I became. Despite the turmoil that ferments within, I have at last met my resolve, discovering one of the very gateways my disheveled father had created to send his denizens into the terrain of the man-fools. But without a destination for it to latch upon, it was dormant and ineffectual, which fueled my rage further, urging me to tear it asunder. But it was at this moment that I observed the rune inscriptions upon its structure, which revealed to me its workings, and I could thus establish a link to the realm of the man-fools. With the knowledge of the pagan magics gifted to me from my pagan shaman mother, I conjured a will-o-wisp to send through the gateway in my stead. From it, I learned much about the pagan grounds and neighboring expanse that was the portal's final destination, but in my maw form, I was a hideous gargoyle-like vision, with barbarous claws, half-cloven feet, stone-like skin, and the contorted face of a dilapidated, I think that's supposed to mean, feline. I would be loathed and hunted down. So now, using the teachings of the trickster's ways, I have transformed myself into the only manful form of which I am familiar, that of my pagan forebearer. Now, finally forsaken all that I have known since my creation, I advance through the portal, leaving behind my home, my prison, bound for a new beginning, and in time, a new rise to power. Emerging into this new, unfamiliar landscape, I am reminded of the ties that bind me to the maw. My powers drained, I muster the energy to sustain the manifestation of my mother, so as to not alienate myself from these degenerate pagans. But expeditiously, I come to the realization that the further I stray from the portal and the longer I remain away from my native homeland, the more my stamina saps away and my vulnerabilities escalate. How could I ever hope to overshadow this world if I can't inhabit it indefinitely? I must be patient, bide my time, and the answers will come in due course. A few days have passed since I arrived here, and I have acclimated somewhat to the environment and the custom of the pagan people to which I have falsely befriended. Anguish and fury dominate my emotions, and with what meager strength I hold within, I frequently erupt in uncontrollable violence towards these paltry simpletons. But upon their savage slaughter, I am able to draw from their dying force, which serves to subdue the worst of my emotions and fleetingly boosts my strength. It does little, however, to negate my need to retreat to the maw on a daily basis to rejuvenate my strength. But I have a solution to these shortcomings, and in time will faultlessly come to fruition. As a new season comes to pass, I have the pagans at my whim, subservient to my compelling charm magics. So they now do as I command, powerless to resist me. I have incited them to integrate with the rest of society, where for the most part they have been accepted, and now move freely amongst the rest of those naive, insipid man-fools. Within the city, my pagan servants have acquired a refuge for me, a domicile where I will be able to hide in plain sight. But first I must put them to work on the construction of a new receptacle within this habitat, which, much like the one I first emerged into this world from, I will use to move freely between the realms. When finished, it will be in close proximity to where I dwell, and through it, the Maw's influence will remain strong enough that I could remain here for many days at a time before my strength is drained to desperate levels, inducing me to retire once again to the maw to regenerate. Much has changed for me in the maw, too. My dwelling, sculpted within the trunk of a gargantuan tree, which is nestled between the hunting grounds of those voracious maw beasts, has a portal now, too. No more must I traverse the perpetual pathways to and from my father's gateway. No more must I obliterate the myriad of maw beasts that materialize from the cavernous walls whenever they sense my ambulation upon their grounds. Now I am established within the man-fool's world, and all I desire to eliminate my dependency upon the maw for my powers, so that I may usurp and dominate this world. And as it just so happens, my pagan allies have foretold of an ancient and powerful artifact that will immensely reach our shores, or imminently. Wow, I can read, I can. Pagan predictions are vague at best, but did clarify the artifact's arrival aboard a vessel that will lay anchor at the dock of the city. However, it failed to disclose anything about the artifact that is necessary to me harnessing its powers. Only those contemptible, formalistic keepers would have the information I seek. Latent within the tomes of their library, and getting at it would be another affair entirely. But first, I must obtain the artifact of which those pagan simpletons would not be sufficiently competent. So I must employ another someone befitting the job. Description of a thief. Someone like Garrett. Garrett, the master thief. Where are you now? The master of shadows, justifying your namesake by vanishing from sight, sound, and rumor since long before this tenement became my home. The same tenement block that you likewise once called home. But all is not lost, for an alternative is disclosed. A new neighbor. One who now dwells in Garrett's old abode, forced there after his former home was destroyed by fire from an arson attack in the old quarter of the city. The once savior of this city after defeating an infestation of were-rats, a rising master of thievery, who goes by the name of Reuben. Now, under the pretense of a new pagan healer, I have sent him a bushel of apples to endear him into making use of my services, so that I may enlist his abatement. And, almost as if my very own desires commanded him as easily as my pagan slaves, Reuben happens upon my door, encumbered with an unconscious personage of affliction, requesting that I treat him. Disregarding my malevolence towards all man-fools in order to instigate my plan, I reluctantly treat his friend, who, as it transpires, is the captain of the vessel that brought to these shores the very artifact I seek. Things couldn't be more effortless. But now, as it transpires, the artifact I crave is cursed with dark powers. It draws at the weak mindlessness of man-fools, affecting all within the city. Prolonged exposure has left the captain near to corrupt mindlessness, but my magic concoction has given him some time. As for me, I am rendered immune to its influence, thanks to my maw powers. But the rest of the city's inhabitants can go to hell for all I care. All I require is the power contained within the artifact, and once again, it was easy enough to persuade the unsuspecting Reuben to visit the Keeper's library and requisition the knowledge that I seek. Now we have the tome, the ancient Arcadian artifacts, and it reveals much to me. The artifact is, in fact, one of a pair, together, uniting to form a single, much greater powered artifact. With these combined energies surging within me, my powers would be insurmountable. No man-fool, pagan, nor god akin to my father could prevent my subjugation of this world and the feeble creatures that reside upon it. I must have it. Soon after this discovery, and with the folly of reclamation of his home city, once again it took no effort on my part for Reuben to be persuaded to seek out the second artifact. Then, after making preparations, he and his companion left our shores, destined for the artifact acquisition. With the knowledge that the acquisition of the artifact was fraught with danger, and the fear that even Reuben may succumb to it, I reluctantly researched its location in greater detail, disclosing potential information that would facilitate Reuben's success. It was also revealed to me that the city had within its midst an old, dissuaded factory that Reuben may impugn upon as to combine the two artifacts into one. Now, despite my disinclination to aid these odious man-fools, it's in my interests to expedite their endeavor, so I sent word of my discoveries via Raven to a predetermined landmark for Reuben to intercept. Now, in my solitude, I am freely able to study the artifact book in greater detail, educating me with the knowledge I require to purge the artifacts. Energies before imbuing them upon me. It is also revealed to me that this process requires the kind of energies that only exist within the Maw, energies which are disseminated within the Maw's atmosphere, so a natural conduit is needed to focus them. And I know of one such place, a cavern not too distant from my father's beast production portal, a place I can prepare in advance, undisturbed, and making ready my augmentation and subsequent perpetuity of life. But now, as I anxiously await Reuben's return, the city dies around me, stricken by the dark powers of the artifact's stalwart, contagious influence. Even in its absence, the city folk are either turned into vicious, aggressive, accursed, or are savagely butchered by them. My powers, while weak in the man-fool's world, are still strong enough to keep the accursed at bay. But once I have the artifact in my grasp, I shall expunge Reuben and retreat to the Maw to imbue me with the artifact's contained energy, so that I may take governance of its petty man-fool's world. Then the curse will no longer matter. Well, damn, it's always nice when the bad guys leave a journal so you know why they did what they did, but you still gotta stop them. So, Dave, let's go do just that. Now that we have the artifact.
I sure am glad to be back.
Palm falls down. Hey!
Sure is.
And
I have the artifact.
Right here.
Fantastic. But what do we do now? How do we save the city?
You destroy that portal, and I'll go do what needs to be done.
Right you are.
Okay. I'm guessing I'm going to mount it in a significant place. On a ley line? Maybe! Well, hopefully this fountain will do. It's the end of Thief 3. Maybe it can be the end of this. Oh god, oh god! That's a lot of a curse. Got him. Okay, I did it.
The city is saved once more. The corpse of the creature that was Pollenful lay slain. Her lust for world domination halted in its tracks, and the curse has been lifted from our city. The artifact was kindly returned to care, along with an apologetic letter explaining the reasons for its theft, and that clearly their protective tower needed some improvements. I am once again declared the saviour of the city and a true hero. In my honour, a statue is erected over the old fountain, and crowds gathered and cheered at its unveiling. I returned to my humble home to rest up, pleased that I could do some good in these dark times. But now I am done, and once again I slip away into the shadows of retirement to try to live out the rest of my days in peace and quiet and relative comfort. Maybe this time round, the ending is for real.
There you go! Thieves Rising 2. It is much better than the first one. Much, much better. There are still problems, though, and a lot of them have to do with gameplay and the engine that this is built in. I don't think that this engine can accommodate with a lot of things that the creator wanted to do. physics... Thieves Highway. The physics in this game are horrendous. We cannot fix them. It is baked into the engine. We just can't do things with physics in it. It's not possible. It was one of the worst levels in a game I have ever played. Not the design, just the fact that climbing around sucks. It just sucks. The ship was another gameplay decision that I don't think makes much sense unless you give more shadows. If there were shadows and a larger hallway underneath the ship, it probably would have been a lot more fun to let guards pass you by. But it was brightly lit, and you could barely get from room to room without a random guard just running past you. So that was an issue as well. Beyond that, though, a lot of the shortcomings from the first one were fixed in this one, which is very good. And the design itself and the story, much better than the first one as well. So it's kind of a mixed bag there, unfortunately. Both fortunately and unfortunately, I guess. But yeah, I still had fun playing it for the most part. Let's say for the most part. Because I do think that the positives outweigh the negatives in this case. But yeah, that was Thieves Rising 2. I hope you appreciated it being in existence. Thank you for playing. I'm surprised that somebody was able to do this. Monumental feat. Is there anything else? Well, home sweet home. This isn't another level, is it? That's kind of cool having this all displayed. Doesn't make much sense, but then again, it's just for fun anyway. Thieves Rising 2. Title art by Nathan Gilbert. Not bad. Pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, whoa. It's kind of cool. Find all the crests and special loot items in the game to unlock the target range. No thank you. Each crest found will unlock a character portrait where they have not been found. An image of the crest and the mission number that they are located in is shown. Each special loot item is shown in the display cabinet where they have not been found. A plaque displays the mission number that they are located in. Use the mission replay machine to replay individual missions and find the missing items. This is really flippin' cool. I'd like something more than a shooting range, but regardless. So it looks like one of them I actually got. So it's the person that played him. So yeah, I think I got one? But fair enough. That's really cool. And you can replay the levels. Yippin' sweet. I'm not going to do this, unfortunately. But I'll leave it here. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed my nonsense. If you did, a like, comment, subscribing, and hitting that bell icon would be greatly appreciated. This has been Boylag, signing off.